It's ice sledge hockey time again at the Shayba Arena. And a beautiful day for day 2 on the edge of the Black Sea in the southwest corner of Russia. And you're looking at the hockey puck designed arena, the Shayba Arena. Shayba meaning hockey puck in Russian. As you look at our match today, the preliminary round in day 2, this is Group A, Canada taking on Norway. Both teams with victories coming into today's match. Canada with the commanding result, a +9 goal differential, the 10-1 win over Sweden in day 1. Norway winning in a penalty shootout, or as it's known now, game-winning shots. And they beat the Czech Republic. As you look at Canada in the black and Norway in the white. Canada changing their uniform in day 2. They were in their signature red in day 1. Derek Berkebile is the referee. Young Yin Che is going to be on the line, as well as Ryan Frericks from America. Larocque, an outstanding opening match in day 1. 2 goals, and he sets his table nicely. A +2 as well. Odin Bakke, as you just saw there for Norway, he scored that goal in regulation time against the Czechs. And then they went to the game-winning shots. Actually, the difference maker awarded the winning goal was Rolf Inar Petersen. As you look at the Norwegian fans, Norway are the only team in the ice sledge hockey competition. As you look at their lineup, Kristian Buen was outstanding as in the goal in day 1. And there is Nor Stoga as well. Great against the Czech Republic. And Canada just getting themselves ready. Their opening lineup is ready to go. Corbin Watson will get the start in his first ever Paralympic game in the pipes. And he will play for Canada. And Corbin Watson, 27 years of age. As you look at Mike Mondin, the head coach, now the man in charge, who will lead the Canadians potentially through and back into the medal podium, Morten Hagland. Well, he's done it now. This is his 6th Paralympic Games. And every single one of those, him as the head coach, has been able to be certain that Norway medals. Corbin Watson, there you see, will be the goaltender chosen today to start for Canada. And this man yesterday on day 1, Kristian Buen, 95.24 save percentage, a 0.90. And he was outstanding, particularly in the game-winning shots as well, the key saves. Canadian fans here in great numbers traveling to support the athletes at the Paralympic Games, and obviously particularly today, the ice sledge hockey competition. Norwegians are very patriotic and a passionate ice sledge hockey nation as well. And this is going to determine really who is going to be likely to be number 1 and number 2 coming through in the preliminary round. And it's the top 2 teams in the group of 4. You saw the table there earlier. Top 2 teams will go through the semifinal. We're almost set and ready to go in this huge group match. Bridges up against Bogle. And we are underway. Canada in black from left to right. Norway in white. It's immediately Bowden with control. Canada will set the pace and not mess around. They'll go right after the Norwegians and just apply pressure as quickly as they can. Shot in, scrambling there. Buen is tested early. And this is real sprightly stuff from the Canadians just to get off the mark from that opening face-off and waste no time to apply this pressure. And there's Bridges right in on top, not allowing a moment for Varnas to try and collect his thoughts. As immediately again, Bridges will continue to work. He'll come across the front of goal. Contact made there. Canada are able to cycle it back down low again. It's kept in well from Arsenault, and it's Dorian who takes a shot across the face of goal. And Dorian in his third Paralympic Games for Canada. And hot pursuit right in on it. Flying the body. That's Kevin Rempel. And he's turned it, and now battling here Larocque. Larocque with the 2 goals in day 1. First ever Paralympic goals for Dominic Larocque. Right now though, Hagen trying to get it out. It ends up going past him. Referee doing his best to get out of the way. Berkebile, the American official, and just incredible pace from Kevin Rempel in his first Paralympic Games as well. Number 5 for Canada, right in on the forecheck. Gale, same story there. The first-time Paralympian. And as Canada is testing Buen right away, Westlake with a tremendous opportunity to captain, a 27-year-old. And had become the captain of Canada. And he was named captain in October of 2010. So after the Vancouver Paralympics, it was a changing of the guard, and he has been the man ever since. And there you see him. And he scored in the opener in day 1. Also involved in assists as well. As he's very much the consummate offensive threat. A goal and an assist for Westlake over the Swedes. Back is Arsenault though. Great job to come away with possession of that puck. And it's a delayed offside waiting. Arsenault will go back and recover it. Arsenault an assist in that match against the Swedes. Wide side, can't quite make it strong enough. Delayed offside coming, and once it's touched, it'll be blown, and that is the linesman right on the plate. There you see arguably the best play-making player in the world. Some still argue that he is the best in the world. And that was Rolf-Gunnar Petersen. He now in his 6th Paralympic Games. 44 years of age. Bridges will take that one. It's Westlake who provides the offload. There is an opportunity here. Whitson. Tremendous passing sequence there from Canada to go D to D across the blue line. And there is definite structure to how they want to approach now. They're right on top again, and Buen, it's wide open. Westlake can't pick up the change. And he was hustling to put it in the bank. But unfortunately, the door was closed just ahead of time. And again, this forecheck from Canada is relentless. Norstoga, who able to provide in day 1 some real strong defense. He'll have his pedigree tested today. Big hit in the offensive zone, now clearing out. And it's going to be an intentional playing it in on the goaltender Buen when there was a delayed offside coming. And that's Bowden, the assistant captain. And he's playing a rough and tumble game as well for the Canadians. It's part of their game. It's one of their strengths. Buen was fine there as soon as he touches it, as it was directed intentionally on him when the Canadian forwards were still trying to leave the zone. It was immediately blown as face-off in the Canadian end zone. It's won though by Norway. They'll play it down into the corner. That's Bogle Arsenault already logging the minutes on the Canadian blue line. Just getting started in this one, and the gold medal didn't come up until later in the week. This is only day 2. And the group stages, Canada in black are pushing against the Norwegians, who at the moment are doing well. And they talked before this match about how they wanted to just stay with the Canadians for as long as they possibly could and keep the scoreline close. And that would then end up creating pressure and some stress and possibly a little bit of frustration from the Canadians. This is a play from Bridges that come in, and again, Buen. Body from Claquag is strong to take Larocque off the play. And that is a definite tactic from the Norwegians. Try and stem the flow, be stubborn, stingy, and won't allow the Canadians just to run roughshod over them. But at the moment, Canada are certainly setting the pace. Offside as just getting ahead of themselves. And again, it's a disruptive approach to trying to just keep this game from suiting the tempo and the desire of the Canadians, who want to play it at a robust and fast pace. Norway electing, they don't have as deep a lineup in the same quality that the Canadians might have. Their overall numbers are the same, but the Canadians have a number of offensive threats that are more capable of scoring goals. And electing, that's Morten Hagland. That is Mike Morden on the Canadian bench, but he knows what this means to Canadians, but not getting drawn into the suggestion that because Canada, both the men and the women in ice hockey, have claimed gold, that it was now additional pressure on the Paralympic program. Instead, we have our own objectives and approach, and basically are going to be evaluated based on those. So whilst they accept the expectation, as Canadian sports fans, they'll be watching with great interest. It wasn't a further pressure to the one they already put on themselves. It's cleared across ice for Norway and deep into the zone. Westlake gets hit hard coming across, and Norway electing to play right back at the Canadians, and you fighting fire with fighter, and you need to play that way. You can't try and back away from the Canadians because they won't allow you to get away. Norway just managing and negotiating their way through the stages and just playing these pressure pucks, or area pucks as you might call it. Here's a great linking play though up. Bridges from the outside, Bridges, and a stop play there. Buen, who's got those double pads sewn together, and the angle of it suits him fine as he comes across and almost providing this double pad stack low, and the angle works well for him as he smothers the puck on that shot, and it's not able to jump out again. Norway with control. 6 minutes gone in this match. Skating well, a stop, Rempel. Clever move across to Dorian. Dorian from the outside. And a different class goaltender in there. Buen is Kristian Buen. Getting it done so far, the 30-year-old is one of the best in the world. Canada to respond and support in numbers. Shot here from the outside, and quickly again. Reacting, Dixon getting the shot in. And Dixon already has his goal scoring account open in this Paralympic Games. Strong shot in from Dixon. He was 2 goals and 2 assists versus Sweden. And there you see another great save from Buen. As he is equal to everything being asked so far. McGregor to the short side. Give and go to himself under the Sledge from the distance. And the whipping blast from Derek Whitson. And again, Buen not wanting to leave anything to chance, anything extra for these Canadians to try and dislodge or separate from the keeper. That shot there is a howitzer. As the very nature of the Sledges haven't got time to go up over and do the back scratcher, as you might call it in ice hockey. Just a quick snapping release off the side of the Sledge from either hand. And it is the quickness of the release that is often more deceptive than the power of the shot. Developing a play here. It's gone wide side. And it's coming into a position again. Westlake gets a jab at it. And it was Bridges who provided the puck initially in. Bridges who just wants to give an opportunity for Westlake to get to it. And Westlake going to the nets. The captain. And Bridges, a smart move just to see what was on offer in front of the Norwegian goal. There is Buen. We'll see a lot of him today. He's going to receive a lot of pressure. Canadians want to get up over 30 shots. There is Auden Bakke, who has already scored, 25-year-old. Not today, but in their day 1 match, their opener. Norway playing their game plan at the moment to a T. Just waiting for the referee to receive instruction to drop this puck. And underway we are again. Canada. They just bump that puck back into a position, where they can maintain possession. This puck movement between, well, from stick to stick, and particularly under the Sledge, is incredibly complex and intricate, but the speed in which the players are able to do it makes it so evasive and elusive, as if you're generating speed at the same time as moving that puck to the ability that some of these players have. It is very difficult for a defending player to focus, particularly as they can't skate backwards in these Sledges. Always have to either be coming back and slowing down with the right angle, or trying to take on an offensive player by skating towards them, which is difficult at the best of times. Peterson gets bumped in the corner. He can't clear it. Norway do well, though, to come back and to make certain that they have support defensively. And it's out of the zone. They've done well here. Peterson on a partial 2-on-1. He's got a trailer now. From behind, he'll shoot from the outside. This is a rebound chance. And look at that. Right in on Corbin Watson. And that was a real threat. Now Canada is going to up the pace and just bump it into an area, but nobody is there to support the intention from Adam Dixon. Norway will be encouraged by that sequence a moment ago. And this is a much different complexion, as the Canadians have scored within their first shift against the Swedes. Not the case here, as coming up to 6 minutes remaining in this first period, still scoreless. That'll go, and it will be for icing. So a face-off for Canada in the Norwegian end zone. There you see the nifty little move from McGregor. He also in his first Paralympic Games. This was the play from Peterson. Watson having to come back, and look at how close that is. They do well, that Norway, to get the initial thrust and then to come in for the rebound. That was Barnes, who was trying to get a touch on it and has it just carry him past the far post. Ever stubborn are the Norwegians, though, defensively, aren't they? They just do enough and are smart enough together as a unit to make certain that they just manage themselves out of trouble and keep out of harm's way from the outside. Buen, he doesn't know exactly where it is. It was under his body. He was concerned that maybe it had trickled through him. It was still there under his collapsed frame, as again he's using that length. And those two pads are an advantage. Just an extra surface area in order to manage the puck when it does come in. But the angle and how they're actually sewn together gives him, as we saw earlier in his period, the ability just to smother that puck and press it down when the shot comes in from a distance. And even up close, as you watch again from the outside, that dropping shot becomes difficult to track. You want to make sure you got your body behind that. And Peterson, Bridges, and Westlake providing the offensive thrust for the Canadians. And he's having a good game as well, is Kevin Rempel. 4 assists he had in their opening match versus Sweden. So yet to score. But if you're getting 4 assists and you're in your first Paralympic Games, a +2, that's a pretty good day's work. Bowden continues to try and harass Blackleg. And now the other corner. Bridges working. Westlake will stay high. And Bridges, the biggest of these 3 Canadian forwards, often providing that brute force. Norway into the corner now. They get it hard. And again, it's strong, assertive play from the Canadians that leads to a partial break now, developing straight ahead. A block, though. One more time, Canada trying to pick it out, and they can't. And Norway will break. It's a one-on-one, and it's the backtracking pressure from Canada makes it look easy. No icing on the play. Now developing some offensive zone puck possession time. Peterson steps in from that blue line. And he was the man with the game-winning goal in day 1 for Norway. He went off the post as well twice. And then another tremendous chance that was saved too. So it wasn't until the game-winning shots that he actually was able to finally convert with the all-important goal. They had other chances too. This is a scrambly effort for Canada. Sticks and gloves go flying, and Norway are going to be penalized coming up. Canada will use this opportunity to break. Continue to offload and distribute that puck, but the whistle finally being blown, and it looks like it's going to be a roughing call. That's coming in. And possibly, it's just the way the hand was being used there. And coming across in front of goal, and Solberg has made his way across and into the penalty bench area. Rempel to take this draw. He's the assist man for Canada. Buen will have to be the best penalty killer for Norway in this next 2 minutes in order for them not to concede. Canada with 2 power play goals already in this tournament. Westlake from the outside, offloading it to Bridges. Bridges goes wide, he goes hard, and that leads to his team having to go all the way back in their own zone to collect this puck. Bridges will just come back and support. Now the Canadians across the line, it's fallen favorably. Insert pass. A chance here, wide open. Save once and twice. That's outstanding from Buen as he takes away what looked to be a sure goal from Adam Dixon. Canada on the power play, look threatening. Oh, off the bar. Oh man, that had some get up and go on it, didn't it? And again, Canada trying to make that precise play across the offensive zone and can't. But that shot from the blue line, you could hear it all around the Shayba Arena. That was in. Oh, this is clever stuff. All the way in. One more time. Canada can't. Bridges goes down hard. And he's taken down like he's shot out of a cannon. And he's back settled now. But he just got the twist and roll at the wrong time. He just couldn't maintain his balance. Deep in the zone, Norway will clear it, and that will break the back of this penalty kill. And now back on the ice is Solberg. And 5-on-5 resuming. Canada can't make anything of this power play. And coming up to a minute now, inside 50 seconds now remaining in this first period. Getting ahead of ourselves. Lots of action still yet to come. Norway just trying to control it over there by the bench area, not wanting to allow the puck with Canada, because while they have it, obviously the Canadians don't, and the Canadians can't score. So now Norway just keeping it, trying to create a chance. Whoa, look at this one here. Out and back, one of the best of the period. And he just kind of walked his way in casually. Almost looked for a moment like he was going to be content with just some possession in the offensive zone. And then, wow, the gunslinger comes out off the hip. And he just lets it fly. Watch this one too. Bridges. And Bridges, once again, right off the bar. And that was a scintillating rip from the blue line as he steps in. Normally a forward playing defensively in that power play alignment. Inside of the remaining 5 seconds. And that is going to be the end of the first period of play. A good 15 minutes of action from both sides. And up tempo as you're looking at Arsenault. And neither side will be feeling too disheartened or discouraged by that. It favors Norway, though, at the moment. They had the 1 penalty kill, and they've been able to do it. You look at the face-offs so far, and Canada are operating at 31.25%. So basically, 2/3 of the draws or higher of actually being won by Norway at the moment. And if you keep winning those face-offs, you're going to keep this Canadian offense in check. And particularly if you're able to kill on the penalty kill as well. Canada looked good, though. They have 9 shots in on goal to 3 from Norway. But it's one of those games, and you just get a sense that if Norway score first, they're only going to just grow in confidence and build towards trying to make this interesting today. They know they have their hands full up against a very strong, talented, and deep Canadian team. They're the current world champions, and they come into this tournament as ranked number 1. A lot expected of Canada, and much more to see in the remaining periods in this one today, and obviously in the remainder of this tournament. But after 15 minutes of play, I'm Brent Pope. I hope you're enjoying the Paralympic Winter Games action here with us. You are seeing an outstanding display between 2 of the best teams in the world. We'll take a little mini break. We will join you again for the second period. Don't go far. Enjoy the action. Coming back with us in just over 10 minutes' time. Those were the scenes from the first period of play as Canada in the black make their way back out onto the ice surface. Norway in white, just electing to allow the Canadians to pass before they will now take to their positions. And we've got ourselves a good hockey game on store here. Ice sledge hockey, very popular sport with all Paralympian fans, young and more old alike. Greg Westlake, the Canadian captain, a couple shots in that period, and you saw one of them where he was on the near side and tried to make a play past their Norwegian keeper. Both goaltenders were strong in that opening frame and did exactly what they needed, and the Norwegians probably more so, as they were wary that the Canadian offense is highly powered, and that to keep them off the board was going to take all they could do. Peterson will be a big part of that, and he'll be a big part of it not only defensively for Norway, but possibly going forward in Hagen as well. He has been around the block too, and he of the old guard, the two of them, Hagen and Peterson, on the blue line for Norway. And they will be logging the minutes, and we'll have a look at what they've done so far. Peterson's only been on the ice 6:45. That's unusual. Hagen 8:01 in that first period, and Varnes 8:48 is the highest minutes on the ice for Norway. So distributing the workload pretty well is Hagelin so far for the Norwegians. We're set to start the second period in day 2 ice sledge hockey. The Canadians spreading themselves out, enjoying the atmosphere inside the Shayba, and just waiting for the ice now just to freeze, as it's just getting a little bit wet, obviously, still from the Zamboni. The referee's not quite happy that it's going to travel across the surface of the ice as well as it needs to, but now Berkebile gets the heads up from his linesman that it's okay, and we're going to be underway. Face-off is won by Norway. It's there from behind, maybe a little bit of a tug by Bridges, not called. And I've seen as much called earlier in other matches, but not in this one at the moment. Bowden will take it up into a good area. It's the dump and chase game for Canada to immediately apply the pressure. Norway, very clever, and the turnstile maneuver has left an opening down this right-hand side. And it will work its way up and into the neutral zone. Canada have turned it over. Westlake trying to create an option there from a distance shot, high and hard. And that's a ripping blast from Adam Dixon. He has already scored in these Paralympic Games. Offside for Norway. They'll have to clear the lines as the exchange and substitution on the bench. That's the tough part about the second period for both teams, is that they are that much further away from the door in which they would come on the ice. And in order for ease of traffic, as we watch Dixon again, it gets elevated late to go up and over. He had that on target. But they come in the one door and out the other, so it's like a revolving pit lane over there on the benches. And so, but unfortunately, the exit sometimes, or the, shall we say, the entrance, either or, isn't as well placed for the play on the ice at the time. And players invariably being offside as they're making those substitutions. It's now gone into the zone though. Canada immediately applying pressure again. And can't stay right with it. Rempel allows a little bit of room for the Norwegians. And that's Varnes, who is the leading minutes played in that first period. And Bogle doing a great job as well defensively, and that's very obvious right now how applied their Norwegians are, and they are feeling good, feeling confident in how strong they are defensively, and when they come forward, they do so with purpose and they do so with belief, and that becomes very difficult to break down. Larocque just controlling that puck, keeping it to the near side. It almost looked as though he had his hand on the puck, but the referee right there keeping an eye on it, just keeping that puck side saddled in his work. Here's a great chance. Oh, and it dribbles past the post, and Canada right there knocking at the door again. Murray steps in, and it's going to be a penalty up against Norway. And it's going to be a hooking call. And wait to see who it's going to go against. But right on top of goal again are the Maple Leafs. Now they have a power play, and Mondin will look to deploy his troops. They looked decent when they were in the offensive zone on the power play. Norway were strong, and that's the play there. A tough call potentially on Ostavall. Ole Bjarte Ostavall is the man who will sit down for 2 minutes or less, and the Canadian power play is in effect. It's a good play, isn't it? Just to move it across and to create an angle. Get the puck to the middle of the ice, all the way through that box again. Controlled by Canada. Westlake. Wide side, cupped and taken by Bridges. Bridges will release with Bowden. Give and go is beautiful. But the end product not quite there yet. The offload. And the movement consistent, isn't it? Always developing. Buen is going to, again, has had to be on the previous penalty taken. Kept in, and now it's cleared down. But Buen is going to have to be the best penalty killer. And if Norway are going to get something from this match, he was the best player in day one for Norway. He'll have to be the best player on the ice, or between both sides, if Norway are going to get something from this match today, you feel. And he may, in fact, just have that ability to elevate his game the way he's playing so far. Here it is, a little touch and go, and that there was right on target as Murray drops the hammer in the Canadian end zone. Nifty moves the Canadians have. They're cutting and slicing through the Norwegian defense, but they go wide once more. And Buen just inches his way back towards that puck. He'll take it in his collection. And Peterson. And Peterson chatting. That goes off of the post. McGregor gets the shot in. Canada working hard. They are now 45 seconds remaining on this power play. So 2 for 5. They are in the tournament thus far. 0 for 1 this one. They score though, and they're on the power play and they're on the board as Larocque continues his scoring streak. In day 2, he opens the Canadians' account, and they'll be glad about that. And Buen, it's all he could do as the Canadians were coming. And Larocque is the man to bury the rock hard and low into the bottom left-hand corner. And the black and red are delighted. McGregor and Gale with the assists on the play. So make that 3 goals so far in the Sochi Paralympic Games for Dominic Larocque. Whistle blown, the referee not happy with something, needing to get clarification from the timekeeper's bench. And Norway will know that they have played with fire, and one time too many. As they've taken 2 penalties now in this game, and the second one has burned them. Working well. And in behind goal, the Canadians are very clever at creating movement and trying to go from behind the net out in front. And that's a very difficult play to defend when you're always looking behind your net. Very difficult to mark the players in front that the puck is most likely to go to. As you watch Bridges, as there is a player in front, it's Bowden, as Norstoga has to go to Bridges, and Bowden was potentially there to get to an opportunity, but Buen senses it, gets out there, and gets across and lays the body down to prevent that access pass coming in. Now, Canada were building momentum. They have had a few good chances, and it's no more than they've earned so far. And Norway just wanting to keep themselves calm after conceding that power play goal. They need to get too flummoxed. They've had a very good game plan, and they've been executing it to perfection. They need to just stay 5-on-5 and not make this game more complicated than it needs to be, but the passing play and the sequence there from Canada, it's very difficult to defend, as the movement and the precision is world class. Larocque, in his first Paralympic Games, is having a great old time. Outside shot right up against Bueni's again. He is continuing to work his way in, and there's Bridges trying to get himself out, and you see the senses of humor with the smiles on the face. The intensity never too far away from any of these competitors, but a great spirit in which the game is played as well. He'll know just that has to be the last one he lets in today if Norway's going to have a chance, and it's, I know, very difficult to imagine that's the case. But Canada has already recorded a 10-1 victory in this Group A. And while the scoreline may flatter them, they are that capable. And you just cannot, if you're going to score against them, because they're very strong defensively too, and they've got balance and they've got depth. So there's going to be a penalty though coming up. Peterson is controlling that puck, and it's coming up against Canada. So a power play now for Norway. Maybe they can answer straight back. And it was the hit in the defensive zone, Norwegian defensive zone, that has led to Berkebile making the call, and it's going to be a roughing call. And this was the hit here coming in, and Bridges, who's got the bit between his teeth, is going to be sitting down for 2 minutes or less, and for his sake he hopes it'll be 2 minutes, and then he's set free without Canada conceding. Good job, and it looks as though it's underneath, and referee on top of the play, allowing it to continue. And that's very difficult and starchy play by the Canadians just to try and tie up as many Norwegians as possible. That was a tremendous opportunity. This is 2. And down, making the save and ready is Corbin Watson. And Watson hasn't been tested in a while. He'll need to be ready on this power play, as that knuckling puck towards goal is more difficult than it appears to make the save. And 4 shots now from Norway. From a distance, it's blocked. They will reload, but they've mishandled it. And Peterson has taken it out. They'll need to allow for their players to clear the lines. Canada just get it back out into the neutral zone, but can't see it all the way down the ice. Marching down on a minute remaining on the power play. Norway need to attack in numbers and get numbers on that puck, and they haven't been able to. Canada do well to clear it down. And a very measured build-up, but it's allowing time for the Canadians to cause confusion. It's worked well, though. Norway with a good alignment on their power play. A high posting formation and a shot from the outside. Coming across, and this is too many men potentially. And that is the whistle being blown. And Westlake is taken down, as it's getting a little bit feisty in and behind, as the players are starting to have a little chip and a shot at one another. And that's Mike Mondon saying no more warnings, just call it. If it's too many men on the ice, it's too many men on the ice. But he's just saying that is Peterson who gives the shot, and up around the face area that could be roughing. And you saw that there was a penalty already called against the Canadians. And Peterson is just getting his hands a little high and being a little bit liberal in their usage. And so that is the call. Too many players on the ice for Norway. So Canada will get the opportunity after their original penalty expires. But whether or not there's any assessment on Peterson and his extracurricular use of the hands, well, that'll be a mental note, it appears, for Birkebeil to think about, maybe to influence the next penalty to be called. And not to say that it's an ongoing consideration for a referee, but he's only human, and not each call is made in isolation. They often have the game management, don't they? Where they manage the situation, the circumstance, equal to the incident, to try and create the best possible product for those people and all of us as well, and you at home watching. Make sure it's the best game and best entertainment available. And this is the discussion. Haglund is still wanting clarity. He's been able to buy his team a little bit of time, and that works for him, as he's able to just keep his players, and off will go. That'll be Martin Hamra, who will serve this penalty. And so 4-on-4 until Canada in 25 seconds will have their player back on the ice, and they'll have a power play. But they are in possession in the offensive zone now. Give and go. One more time. Outside, a scrambling effort. It's near side. Bowden has to take the long road to get there, but he does well. What speed he has, and movement in the offload. They continue to create tremendous movement. And around they will go, cycling the backhand flip. And more than a flip, it's certainly a shot with direction, but not the most powerful of releases, as naturally the forehand, the stronger side. You see Martin Hamra is in the box now. And this from Bowden. It's never a bad play. And how many times have we seen that elevation be dipping down towards Buen? And it's difficult to get there. Now Canada with that power play. Can't keep it in. They'll go back and realign their troops. They'll have a good, healthy minute here now to try and take advantage of this extra man on the ice. Can't take receipt of that puck, and it's important. McGregor needs to take that first time, and again, Canada are behind their own goal as a result. That's the one. Peterson cuts off his man, and I think it's going to be a penalty against Peterson as he takes his man out. And we'll just see. Peterson's playing on the edge right now, and that was the seed potentially being planted. We'll just see how he's calling that. And I think he's calling it against Gale. And even though Peterson comes across the line on Gale, and he has, and he gets a holding for as soon as Peterson goes through him. He reaches around him trying to get there, and they go crashing into the boards. And it's a holding call. Well, you get the feeling now that the official is going to have so much more a part to play in this one. This is a test for Corbin Watson. 4 against 4 for now. And then Norway, in just over 30 seconds, will have a power play. It's a good play, actually. That one's got more elevation, and it's just getting up and off the stick as quick as possible. Calm and deliberate build-up from Canada, coming out of their own zone. Norway do well, though, to hunt that puck in numbers. And they'll use this time and space to try and get into the offensive zone, and then they can potentially get the extra man when they're already in position and have possession. They're trying to get to it now. Canada have just have to stick about it, but now that'll go down. And now the power play is in effect for Norway. Wide side puck movement. The man advantage. Bridges is first man to it. And he is one of the best shots in the world as he just rips that from one end to the other, and it hits the end boards in flight. Reloading. 360 spin about has put the puck in the offensive zone, but no player from Norway able to get to it first to really apply the pressure. And Canada on the penalty kill. It's Westlake up there. And Peterson has been able to come back and take it pretty comfortably. He'll continue to skate it forward. He's weaving, and whoa, what an offload there. Norway with the best chance as the deception from Peterson. And that's what they talk about with his playmaking ability. He just opened up something in the blink of an eye there. They thread it through the eye of a needle and made something from what looked like nothing. But here is a chance. This is going to be Canada with a great chance, and that is something as they've converted and come right back after the penalty kill and put it where it hurts, in the back of the Norwegian goal. And Buen is beaten as the 2-on-0. By the time they get past the last defender, well, there's just no stopping. As options, they were too easy, and it's Dixon. He had Gale, but Dixon does the dirty on Norway again. Dixon now with his 5th point in the Paralympic Games, his 3rd goal. So Larocque and Dixon continue to score, as they both now have 3 in the tournament. They continue. And Dixon's nickname is Bo Dangles, and you can see why they call him that, as he has the nifty step work that is able just to get in and around. You saw the one defender coming across, and he found a way through him, and then right in on goal. He could have offloaded it to Gale. He didn't need to. He was able to do the dangle-rama himself and tuck it in the open side. Bo Dangles. It's Rempel is on the face-off now. Canada get to it first, though. He doesn't at first win it. Norway come up with possession. That'll be a recorded face-off win for themselves, but they've been a little loose now. This is good work from Norway, though. Through the neutral zone. There is movement. That's just a dump in and allowing the Norwegian forecheck to be employed and to try to get in on this play. Whitson is trying to smother that puck. Referee not too far away, keeping a watchful eye on proceedings in the corner. Same as behind the net is there's a log jam back there. Holding and waiting for the Norwegian thrust to pass is the Canadian mode of operation at the moment. Just trying to be sensible. They'll be just sensible enough to put it over into the corner and allow themselves to get a little bit of shape coming out of their own zone now. Use the boards, and that's the 6th out player on the ice. The boards, often your best friend for a defender, just to keep the puck safely away from danger. Oh, there was a chance, wide open. It's going to be Gale, though. It's going to come in. Gale is trying to come across the front, and Buen, with every inch of his frame, stretches out and poke checks that one away from him. That was a set play. Could have released Gale, though, tape to tape as he came off the bench and was cutting across that blue line. Could have been fed with that play immediately. Nonetheless, he ended up with almost as good a chance. This is Canada. The stick handling maneuvers. And Gale is like a hurricane out there, isn't he? As he just is flying and creating a tornado of confusion. As Norway right now are being spun out of control. But they will find a way to release it down the length of the ice, and it will be icing. And Arsenault, who has been a rock back there for Canada, is the man on your screen. The Canadians will be feeling better. They're able to get their 3 lines rolling and get themselves all involved now. Bridges to take this draw. And you see them battling for position. Bogle does well, though, and he's had a good day in the face-off circle. Back to 50% apiece. So it's 50-50 puck, as they say. Those face-off opportunities. And the stats are proving that's the case. Just marginally the advantage actually to Norway as a result of winning that face-off. But now it's Canada coming forward. This is Westlake. In and out. He's got Bridges. Bridges can't get it first time. He tries to muscle it with his body. And maybe the offload I thought from Westlake was going to come early. Westlake across the Bridges, but he chooses not to and tries to get the shot in himself there. And the ice maintenance team will come out, and Norway need a little bit of a break before the end of the second period. And 1 minute and 15 remaining on the actual game clock. And the players, the line change. Westlake, the captain. This line has been decent today, but you really gotta tip it to the new boys on the block. Larocque in his first game is getting it done. And Dixon Well, these are his second Paralympics. He made his debut in Vancouver, but he's enjoying. Dixon, you'll remember, he's a defenseman. So normally a defenseman is not up in the play as much as Dixon is, but Dixon's an offensive D-man. Does it at both ends of the rink, and he makes it look easy. And you talk about that nickname of Mr. Bojangles. Well, I want to see a play on the Frank Sinatra, Mr. Bojangles. He has got the moves and the polish to boot. As that was a world-class finish. Good work here. Down low. Canada have got space and time. That's low, needed to go up with it. Buen has taken away the bottom portion of the net. Now a minute remaining in the second period, and back goes Whitson. Whitson will need to make, oh, that's a clever play. Whitson just does a little tuck and roll and comes away from that Norwegian forecheck. One more time advancing, playing it into an area. Look at this Canadian offense coming again. And Dorian, one more time, off the pipe and out. And do they have a third attempt? And they've actually just miscued on their timing, trying to come in and get a third crack at it. A minute or half a minute remaining in the final minute of the second. And it's loose. It's available. It's just going to be chipped in, though. And it's going to have to be some quick work for Canada to make much of this now, as it's out into an area and players are still inside. And a delayed offside is employed, but the end of the second period horn is blown before there's a need for that whistle. And the players for Canada will be feeling better, but they're by no reason or no means high and dry at the moment and clear of the Norwegians. This is still very much in the balance, and the onlooking coach Mike Mondin wanting to just clarify and see what was going on, making sure all of his players were off to safety, and the Norwegians are just making their way out onto the ice. And so after two periods, it's 19 shots for Canada, 5 for Norway, and the face-off percentage, the Canadians are winning 2/3 of the face-offs, and there has been a total so far. Well, it's suggesting 17. I think 17 in both periods. It's 34 total. And the power play advantages. Canada has been able to score on one of their two opportunities. And there you have it. The 2 goals for Canada. And they were scored. First one by Larocque, the second one by Dixon. And both of those players now have 3 goals in the Paralympic Winter Games, Sochi 2014. You're watching the ice sledge hockey competition. My name is Brent Pope. It's a pleasure to share it with you. I hope you're enjoying it as much as these people all are. And it's been my privilege. So far, we still have more hockey to come. Join us after the break as we get ready for the third period. Might not be the final one. This could go the difference, or could go the distance, as only 2 goals in it. Norway are still very capable of getting back in this hockey game. We'll see you after the break. Both teams make their way back out onto the ice for this third and potentially final period. But as you see from the scoreline, Canada 2-0 up. It is not a foregone conclusion by any means yet. Norway, as I mentioned at the end of the second period, are very capable of pushing on here. Good crowd inside the Shayba Arena. As we look back on the match so far, Adam Dixon with the goal, the second one, 3 shots. And he scored his at 25-34. And that was even strength. The assist to Anthony Gale and to Bridges as well. On Billy Bridges will get the second assist. But the first goal scored by Canada on the power play by Dominic Larocque. And that was assisted by Tyler McGregor and Anthony Gale. So Gale involved, assisting both of the plays. And Canada are 2 for 5 overall in the tournament on their power play. As they will go and see their leader at the back, Kristian Buen, one more time, just checking to see if the ice is dry enough to get itself ready to go. There you see just in the background that the water hasn't quite frozen on top yet. Looking around, Corbin Watson, he's done his job. This is his first Paralympic Games. At his first Paralympic Games tournament. So it is a exciting prospect indeed, but Norway are just a shot away from changing everything. And underway for the third period. It's Canada in black from left to right. They'll play it in. And immediately they pressure it. The Norwegians do a good reverse, the long one, but they just throw the puck up the middle of the ice, and this has actually worked well for them. It's putting Corbin under pressure. And Hamra all the way in to make sure that that was safely contained. And that was Dixon you just saw flying forward there. And the veteran on the blue line, Hagen, as you're looking at the eyes of Corbin Watson. And Hagen, 16 minutes and 23. He's outdone by Varna, 17-18 so far. Minutes on the ice of the 30 possible. Whistle blown. And we talked just a moment ago there about Corbin Watson, the 27-year-old, in his first Paralympic Games. Well, he had the goaltender of the tournament at the World Championships last year in Korea. And highly regarded, an emerging goaltender. Westlake, his Canadian teammate, the captain, thinks that Corbin's probably the best goaltender in the world, but a strong performance at his first Paralympic Games would go a long way to solidifying that. Here are the, oh, it's a bounce and it's a crazy one, it's in, and that puck had eyes as the long distance caller collected. And one more time, it's the Big D. Dixon, Adam Dixon delivers. And the Canadians are delighted. They get themselves a break as from a distance, Dixon, Mr. Bo Dangles, the long distance caller on that one, finds the back of the net again for his 4th goal of this Paralympic Games. And you see those types of plays, but only ever so often. And it is shining brightly above Mr. Dixon at the moment. He's a defenseman, remember, and 6 points, 4 goals already. And that's sort of like his countrymate, Drew Doughty country, as far as his output. Drew Doughty, very similarly for the Canadian men's ice hockey team, was scoring with such offensive explosion. Well, Dixon is doing just the same for the Paralympic Canadian team. Trying to find room, and the play comes out, but all the way down the length of the ice. And it's not going to be icing as it was played by the Canadians in the offensive zone. They try to make a connected play there. Broken up. Norway have to tag up and clear their lines before they can go back in. And the opportunity now to advance. The pass cannot be connected. And that is exactly what Norway did not need to see happen. Is with, yes, 2 goals being conceded in that second frame. Need to be careful, not too many players on the ice. Didn't touch it as he was going off. But Norway will have just thought, well, if we can just hold it tight and maybe find a way, we can really put some pressure on and just see how resilient and strong this Canadian defense is. Well, that third goal just changes things completely. And there's nothing that Buen could do about it. It's just a little bit of fortune favoring the bold. And that was well, a little bit of a trying effort from Dixon, wasn't it? But it just worked out a peach. Norway just trying to get their bearings again, trying to get settled down into this third period. That will have taken the wind out of their sails, as they could probably hardly believe it just happened. 2-0, they probably were thinking we're fine here, but that's a different tone to the game now. Working away in the corner. Canadians need to maybe just bring it forward and apply a little bit more energy into this one. Peterson able just to hold and control. Again, the grand old master. Calm, but puts it to an area. And that is a play that just, so no one in particular. Dixon on that attempt. And Dixon is always active. Here he is again. And he's going to get penalized for that as he takes his man out, and it's going to be interference. You're looking at Mark Dorian in his 3rd Paralympics, and the official calling the goal scorer, Adam Dixon, for a 2-minute interference penalty. And the fallen Norwegian player is now up, and he will get himself returned to his own bench as the ice gets a quick seeing to. And we're just over 10 minutes remaining in this third period. And the crowd has been increasing in every match, and from day 1 to day 2. And it's just a tremendous acoustics in this building, in the Shayba Arena, and that is the play. Dixon on Norstoga. Norstoga gets taken out, a glancing blow, but sometimes those are more potent because you're not expecting it. And the quick arrival of a player that you're not braced to be making contact with can be quite unsettling and a little bit surprising. And well, he's just caught Norstoga out. He's taken a position back on the bench, and he's fine. Well, Corbin Watson, is he in his first Paralympic Games going to in fact keep a clean sheet? Well, he is on the penalty kill now. Tremendous play just to bat it down the ice with the arm, as the Mexican wave is now burrowing its way through the seating area, and the fans are delighted to be here. And it just reminds you again just what a incredible event the Paralympics is 5 sports, but the passion and the pride in the performance from these athletes is something for every nation to be proud of. And it's just a real celebration of sport. It's a great spectacle to be involved with, and the fans from all around the world are enjoying this one right now. Into the corner. Offloaded. Chance for Hagen. Hagen is blocked though. Westlake just gets himself in the shooting lane. And back into the corner. Murray. Murray is trying to reach in and find a way to unlock that puck. He has done so. And again, Norway just trying to settle things down. It's come wide side the shot. And 45 seconds now remaining on this power play. It'll go down the length of the ice. And maybe one last push now. They come forward. Can't do much with it as they're pushed back. Possibly just get some momentum and some possession in the offensive zone. And quite a few moves, but Norway a little bit slow in their approach. And Canada able to read it pretty comfortably. And it is out of the zone again. And you're going to see Dixon now returning to the ice from that penalty bench area. And down it will make its way. Buen elects to touch it, and it was not going to be for icing. And a battle ensues for possession through the middle of the ice here. Very calmly laid on though for Arsenault. Arsenault will have to go back, and moves extremely well, does Arsenault. 25-year-old who's just a real calming presence back there. And the Canadian defensive corps as a unit, well, are tremendously balanced and make very few mistakes. And create good offense from back there. That's one thing that is obvious with Dixon's output so far. And it becomes very difficult to defend that because it's your offensive players who are trying to play defense against the opposing defenseman. And they're not always thinking about how they need to guard them offensively as well. As you look at Westlake looking on. And you feel a little sorry there for Buen, the way the third one has bounced and has come about. He'll bounce back. He has had a tremendous tournament so far. A little give and go to himself, trying to advance it into an area, but it is collected and controlled. Patient composure from Bogle, who gets it into the corner. He wins a physical contest there with Murray. And Whitson will get into the corner. And they can't quite get it out though, Canada. That's turned over by Anthony Gale. And now back the other side. This is an effort to try and... But we haven't seen as much of Peterson as this game has gone on. And maybe a little bit of a tactical move by Marcus Haglund, the Norwegian coach, potentially knowing that this game might be getting away from Norway, that they'll save their star defenseman's minutes. And here he is now, but he's not played as much today as he has against, well, as he did against the Czech Republic. Here's Bridges. Oh, and that's a real sniping shot. And Buen, though, is down. Bridges knows that he can elevate that puck. And he is a sniper. A prolific scorer for the Canadian men's Paralympic team now. And he's a leader. At the front of the pack is Bridges in his 4th Paralympic Games. debuting in Salt Lake City in 2002. Working around in the end zone. So 4 Paralympic Games for Bridges by the time he's 29 years of age. Very impressive indeed. Clackag will move it back. We're looking at the minutes actually played so far. Peterson, 17.5 minutes. And we are almost to the 40-minute mark. So in the game against the Czechs, he'd have played about 25 minutes by now. A different situation here, a long speculative effort there. And they like to rip it in, don't they? And you would want to. These guys kind of have their sticks in their holster, and they're kind of like loaded weapons, ready to fire at any moment, and they can just snap it off from the hip. And like gunslingers, can shoot with power and projection, but often sometimes a little bit high. And it works its advantage as well, because it can become a dump in, and this becomes a game of territory. And regardless of whether or not you're able to get the shot on target, which is obviously the intention, at least it's in a favorable position. That man has had 2 shots on target today. This was the first one, the second Canadian goal. And then this one here, start the 3rd period, and that is more luck than design. But the design of getting it on net was achieved. It was in fact the route and the actual flight pattern it took to get towards goal. Probably more like a cricket bowler, and how it kind of hit a divot, or how it just hit on the side of the puck as it bounced and then jumped up and over Buen in the Norwegian goal. Bridges loves to play a physical game. Getting better with age, like a fine wine he is. D to D the play. And it's fallen well. Dorian can't get free. Dorian now a veteran 2 of his Canadian men's. That's a mixed program is the team, the Paralympic ice sledge hockey, with dominance. Here they are again, Canada. Oh, and they go right by, and they pretty well have Buen at their mercy, and try to slide it by on the low right-hand side, but don't hit the goal. Line changes again, look close. Could be, and not going to be called for too many men on the ice. Dorian out front. Dorian, a shot in. Buen is ready. And he'll make the saves. It's actually still alive, and it's under the defenseman, Norstoga. And Norstoga tries to advance it. He's able to get it out. And skating back. That's some power from Derek Whitson, as he makes a beeline for that puck, and he has it now. Stepping forward. The youngster for Canada in his 2nd Paralympics, made his debut as well in Vancouver. And Canada finished 4th in Vancouver in a very disappointing tournament, understandably for them. When you look at Canada's record, is out a long ways from home as Buen, and a little extra swipe on it too, McGregor. And you saw McGregor with, well, some of his approach to how he dealt with Peterson earlier in this match. McGregor's got a little bit of the burr in the saddle. He plays with a little bit of bite. The Canadians were gold medalists in Turin. In Nagano, they had a silver. And Lillehammer, back in 1994, when ice sledge hockey was introduced into the Paralympic Games, they were bronze medalists. But they have not been able to get a medal from Vancouver, and they didn't in Salt Lake City either. in 2002. So they're not sort of hit or bust there, Canada, but remember, Norwegians have had a medal in every single one of the ice sledge hockey tournaments in the Paralympic Games since it was introduced in '94 to Lillehammer. And they are in and around, and this is their consecutive streak they're trying to maintain. And they wouldn't have expected probably to beat Canada, but it puts pressure on the scoreline to in fact make sure that their remaining fixture against Sweden will be, well, convincing enough. It all depends what happens, but it's still to be played for. Norway as a result of getting that second point against the Czech Republic, but this is in front and wide past the left post. So they're still in the driver's seats, are Norway, even with this result. Oh, the give and go, up and over. It doesn't quite arrive. And just trying to offlay and just keep the pressure to a minimum. Norway just elect to just clear the puck into safe area. Building up Westlake. And just swatted at with the backhand. Can't get it in. Calmly building Westlake. And again, Canada just electing to keep it wide. That's a skillful play from Graham Murray. And he also has a goal in this tournament so far, right from the blue line. And it was a real corker. And he snapped it off high into the goal. This game just lost a little bit of the bite here now, inside the remaining 2 minutes of what will be this match. As I can't see Norway breaking down this scoreline now. They may have one in them, but to think they've got 3 in the tank, that would be a long ways. There's Delaney. He's the youngster, 17 years of age in his first Paralympics, out there with Gale, and he also in his first games. Anthony Gale, 20 years of age. They've turned it over, Canada coming out front. That's a great defensive play to eliminate that option, the cross in front. Potentially coming across, and Buen throws out the pad and the big catching mid as well. And the energy from McGregor is an important part of his offering to this Canadian team. Gale, Delaney, and McGregor. And they would call it the hound line. The Russ Courtnall, Wendell Clark, and Stevie Thomas line, formerly of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Maybe they'll call it the kid line, but they are doing a tremendous job with the Canadian Paralympic side in this tournament so far. It's out and through the neutral zone, back now, a little bit of pressure. Norway, as we come up to a minute remaining. Oh, a little bit of a miscue there. Wasn't quite worked out as Watson might have liked. It's tough to stop on the play once you commit to your route, not wanting to run to your own goaltender. Is this a late flurry? It's collected though and taken by Bowden. Westlake trying to make more of it. Still going, Bowden, in and out. He's got all sorts of manipulation going on. But Norway are back in numbers, and numbers are tough to break down. But they have put the puck the length of the ice. It will go for icing. And there is Peterson on the ice. Arsenault is countermeasure. Well, you'd probably say his countermeasure is Dixon, who is so offensively gifted and producing for the Canadians in relation to Peterson. And it is uncharted territory for a defenseman to have 4 goals in 2 Paralympic games, as is currently the form for Adam Dixon, plus the 2 assists. He is having the games of his life. Working, here's a chance for Canada, wide open, and that will be recorded. And across the line it will go. In perfect position, Mark Dorian just watches the Canadian fourth goal. And I think he just elects to take this one and watch it settle in. Great muscling work. And he actually has to go off his stick and then off his skate and in, but it's incidental. Larocque, as he tries to play it, and there's no reason for the second touch, as he never gets a chance to get another touch on it. But he touches with his stick initially, and it was incidental assistance, shall we say, by the Sledge that produces Canada's fourth goal. Great work off the face-off, and another tremendous execution from the Canadian offense. So this is what they're discussing now and reviewing whether or not that was going to be marked as a clear goal. I think it will. And you see the little hop up that was trying to be employed by Dorian. He's trying to hop up to get closer to that puck in order to sort of touch it one last time with the stick. And in doing so, it almost looks as though he intended with the Sledge to use it as the stick to be able to carry the puck in. But he was trying to move it from his left hand, receiving his backhand across to his right hand. And in doing so, the toe of the Sledge got in the way and ended up doing the work for him. We'll see. It'll be an interesting call here. I would expect that Dorian will have his first goal of the Sochi Paralympic Winter Games. And there it is, it's being awarded. And as predicted, and so important to use the technology that is available. And there you see Dorian couldn't get back to it again after he sees the gaping hole of the open net, and his eyes must have been as big as saucers as he sees the opportunity awaiting him. And the service from Larocque, outstanding. Larocque picking up another point now. And that's his goal and his assist. So he's 2/3 the way towards the Gordie Howe hat trick. And the referee, there's going to be a timeout being called by Norway. It'll be interesting just to see what the tactics are behind this decision for Morten Hegland, and whether he's just wanting to impart some final remaining instructions. I don't think this game was going to get unnecessary by any means, but it's more the instruction coming in to see if they can't score offensively. But there's no better time equally to have your players' attention than during actual regulation time play. Whereas if you want to deliver a message after a score like this or a game like this and it's 4-0 in the dressing room, sometimes you don't always have the players' attention because they're a little frustrated and disappointed and therefore not entirely receiving the instruction. Probably a good time to just emphasize a point just for clarity and just for impact. Players are waiting, and the whistle is blown. Peterson to try and win this draw. And just trying to shoot one from a distance are the Norwegians. They'll force Canada to take it in behind their own net now. And this is the scoring assassin from the blue line, as he'll shoot it all the way down, and Adam Dixon will see this game to safety. And Canada have been able to record an impressive scoreline in the end. With the victory, the goals we'll have a look at here now, as it was 2-0 after 2 periods, and in the final frame at 31:07, just a minute and 7 seconds in, Adam Dixon scores the second goal of the game for himself. as he sends that long one in. As you remember, from the blue line, Arsenault and Rempel get assists. Rempel has been involved in this Canadian offense, contributing to it with assists aplenty. 4 in the first game, 2 in this game. And then the 44-38 goal right before the end here in the last minute. Dorian is given credit for the goal. The assist from Larocque and from Rempel. And that's the way it will finish here, as it's been an impressive display by Canada and a very good display by Norway as well. They were right there in it. Canada ultimately with 23 shots in this hockey game to the Norwegian 6. And the power play, though, working well for Canada. They end up getting themselves 2 power play goals. Or rather, the 1 power play goal. They now have 2 in the tournament. But the penalty kill, pretty decent in fairness. But it's always a little skewed when you don't have many opportunities in which to get a real sort of reflection of how the Norwegians played. The Canadians will be happy, though. And that is day 2 done for Group A. I hope you have enjoyed the action. It's been my pleasure again sharing it with you as Norway salute their throngs of fans here and all the fans here in the Shayba Arena. Appreciate their work and their efforts today. They're a world-class outfit, as are the Canadians. They're looking strong, and with that win, look more than likely that they will be heading through to the semifinals, Canada. Norway still in the balance, but every opportunity to still join them in the Final Four as well. And that is the final score. Canada with a commanding win, 4-0 over Norway in day 2 action. Make sure you join us again at the Paralympic Winter Games in Sochi. The ice sledge hockey tournament is just heating up.